other questions from the media. Imara Galvez's murder remains unsolved. One main suspect is yet to be charged. And we bring you the highlights of Orange Walk's 15th Cancer Walk. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Monday, May 29th, 2023.
Special guest in the audience tonight, legendary record executive, Mr. Clive Davis.
My voice is gone.
What?
You start the show tonight. No talking back. I'm your mother.
There's a boy I know. He's the one I dream of.
What's your name again?
Whitney Elizabeth Houston.
Wait, no! It's on! It's on! Listen!
How will I know if he really loves me?
My dream, sing what I want to sing, be how I want to be.
I say a prayer with every heartbeat.
Reach as big an audience as I can.
Common criticism of you, your music isn't black enough.
Look, I don't know how to sing black, and I don't know how to sing white either. I know how to sing.
I might have just heard the greatest voice of her generation.
Maybe.
Maybe. It's got to have a hook.
A hook?
Yeah.
I'll give it a hook.
And now, the hottest match of the evening. Get ready for action! Here they come. Amazing! They're unstoppable, unbeatable. They have him on the ropes. The heat rises to the top. 1, 2, and 3. They're on fire! Chiladas. Fire up the taste of Belize with the new Chiladas crunchy tortilla taco chips in its hot chili flavor. Fiery habanero brings the heat. They're on fire! Chiladas. From Snackers, done right, done here.
I wanted to show them something that wasn't an illusion. Something that was real. Something that they could see and touch.
Humans and dinosaurs can't coexist. We created an ecological disaster.
Ellie Sattler.
Alan Grant.
You didn't come out all this way just to catch up now, did you?
You coming or what?
That's another plane, right?
Not exactly.
Don't move.
Good evening with your news, also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. A brazen daylight heist was reported in Orange Walk today. According to reports reaching our newsroom, Gastom's sale representative, Roque Cortez, drove down to the Belize Bank here in Orange Walk. As would be the case, it is Monday, and the busy, bustling of commerce was at its peak around 11:30 a.m. This forced 29-year-old Roque Cortez to park on Market Lane. Little did the salesman know that it would be a wrong move, since this is when two male individuals of dark complexion, wearing caps and black surgical masks, came riding on a blue bicycle from the direction of Palmer Road. One of the men who was on the bicycle handle jumped off, came up to Cortez, who was still sitting on the driver's seat of his assigned company vehicle, and pointed a gun at him. The individual ordered Cortez to get out of the pickup truck. Therefore, the robber entered the pickup truck and snatched a sling bag containing about $9,000, which was proceeds of the weekend sales. The robber also took an iPhone XS valued at $800. The other male person then abandoned his bicycle on the side of the street, jumped into the company vehicle. CTV3 News understands that the pair of thieves drove off in the white and pink Nissan pickup truck of Gastomza on Palmer Street in the direction towards Slaughterhouse Road. The stolen vehicle was found after midday in Palmer Village in the Orange Walk district. Police are still investigating this latest robbery. Prime Minister John Bresender returned to the country today after delivering the keynote address at the World Climate Industry Expo Leaders Summit in Busan, South Korea. During that trip, Prime Minister Bresender met with the Prime Minister of South Korea, Han Duck-soo. During that meeting, Prime Minister Bresender requested South Korea's support for Belize's application for eligibility to join the World Bank's International Development Association. Should the application be approved, PM Bresender says Belize can gain access to grants and concessionary financing for climate finance projects.
The World Bank has a special fund called the IDA, the International Development Agency. And through that agency, you have access to lots of grants and very, very low concessionary financing for climate programs or climate projects that countries want to do. Unfortunately, Belize, the United Nations look at Belize as an island state, but the World Bank doesn't. And so what we've been doing, we've been lobbying with different countries. We've lobbied with many countries, and we lobbied with the foreign minister from South Korea and also the prime minister. And they all promise that they're going to support our efforts. Hopefully when that goes to the World Bank either November or December, we hope that we can get enough support that Belize can now become eligible to access those funds.
During their meeting, Prime Minister Han Duck-soo also proposed a bilateral agreement with Belize, which has benefited Belize through a donation of $1 million in IT equipment and $3 million to support the works of the Statistical Institute of Belize.
The Republic of Korea wants to have closer ties with Belize. They are talking about the possibility of opening up an office in Belize so that we can then have access to funding from their development fund. And so they pointed out now that they have given us $1 million for IT that can be used economic development, foreign affairs, and I think agriculture and some other ministry. And also now I know they have agreed now to make another $3 million available to help strengthen the SIB.
During his time in South Korea, Prime Minister John Bresender also met with representatives of the Green Climate Fund and the Global Green Growth Institute. Their discussion centered on improving the approval process of the project preparation facility, projects proposed by Belize that will be going to the Board of Governors for approval, the accreditation of the Development Finance Corporation, and the re-accreditation of the National Accredited Entity, the Protected Areas Conservation Trust, and the Regional Accredited Entity. the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center. The Prime Minister also invited representatives of the GCF to visit Belize to have a first-hand experience of the challenges Belize faces due to climate change. The meeting ended favorably, with GCF offering assistance in providing capacity building expertise within our human resource sector.
We had a very good meeting with the GCF, and so the first time a Prime Minister of Belize have met with the officials of GCF, and what we are telling them is that we are urging them that they need to be able to move quicker with their program, with their projects. We have a proposal with them right now for $50 million US to be able to expand both the water system and sewage system in the San Pedro and also in Kikoko. Now they have told us now that they have responded to our project. Now they've sent it back to the 5Cs, who is handling the project for us. So from there, Dr. Martinez, Oswald Martinez, the CEO for Economic Development, has already alerted the 5Cs here in Belize that they need to respond now quickly. And so that's one of the things that we're going to be responding with them. We spoke to them also about funding. We're attempting to get $20 million also for cane farmers, again for climate resiliency. And we then brought up the issue of probably getting more funding for both citrus and for bananas that are going through a crisis at the moment.
Tonight, 2 weeks after Imara Galvez's body was discovered 40 miles off the Hummingbird Highway, her family is still grieving her loss, and there are even more questions to answers. The biggest interrogative is who wanted Imara dead and why. Solving the murder of the 19-year-old is becoming strenuous with every day that passes by. Still, the crime has many of the deceased friends and family in anger and disbelief. Today, Commissioner of Police gave the press an update as to why there is no arrest in the gruesome death of Imara Galvez.
It is extremely difficult. There are certain things that we need to ascertain, and we believe that the family do have answers, or more answers to the questions that we are hoping to be answered. And so far, I can say that the family are not as forthcoming as we'd want them to be, and we believe that they are withholding information that could assist the police in this matter. One, I can't understand how the way how their home is situated. I don't understand how she would have left home and they don't know. I don't want to indict the family or to say anything that is going to cause more grief to them, but certainly we believe that they are holding back information that could assist the police in that matter. We have narrowed down to one particular suspect. I'm not going to say who that person is at this time, but there's a person of great interest that we're focusing on, and we're almost sure that he is the person responsible for her death. But there are still certain things that we need to confirm, and we're hoping that we will be able to confirm those very shortly and see how we progress in that investigation. I don't know how we could arrive at that is not one person act. One person can pull one person, another person. That is quite possible. But we do believe that the suspect may have had with him other persons in the vehicle, and they may have been part and parcel of what took place. But in terms of a person of interest that we're focusing on, there is one particular person that we believe is responsible.
Viewers will remember that in an on-camera interview, Galvez's family confirmed that the driver of a taxi had indicated the place of the gruesome discovery as one where bodies are disposed of. When asked whether it meant intuition or involvement by the cab driver, the couple told us the following.
I don't want to prematurely judge nobody. I know in the past a body was found in that particular location, but finding one body in the area does not create a trend. Nonetheless, it could have been that they just used their good judgment or intuition and went to the location and they found the body. We have not had anything to indicate that the Bosito driver or any family member are involved in the murder at this time, no. We had done some work on the impounded vehicle, and the work that we did reveal certain things to us. I'm not going to say what to the public. And as what Mr. Vasquez alluded to earlier, there are a number of surveillance cameras along the road from Belmopan to the area where the body was found, and we have viewed those, and those cameras have certainly given us some leads that we are looking at this time.
No luck on the phone?
We have located the phone belonging to the deceased as well.
You have located
yes.
it. Is there any information in there?
Not going to go into that at this time, no.
While the investigation continues, police remain tight-lipped about the one main suspect that is being sought. Contrary to reports on various news outlets, there was no murder reported in Shipyard over the weekend. CTV3 News has been able to confirm that the body of a male person was found yesterday, but the cause of death is yet unknown. Reports suggest the body was found in an area known as Camp 1 in Shipyard Village. According to information gathered around 12:10 p.m. yesterday, police were informed that the body of a dark-complexioned male person with long dreads wearing a gray shirt, long white pants, and black rubber boots was seen lying face up on the ground at a farm located across the river of Camp 1 in Shipyard Village. The male person was later identified to be Hipólito Humes Jr. According to Hipólito Humes Sr., his son had met him on Saturday morning on the riverbank by Camp 1 about 8:30 a.m. But Hipólito Jr. left in a canoe back to the farm located across the river. The following day, on Sunday, May 28, 2023, about 8 a.m., Hipólito Sr. went to the riverbank to wait for his son to come back in the canoe, but he never arrived. This prompted Hipólito Sr. to paddle back to the farm to start his day work. However, about 10 a.m., he noticed that his son had not come out of the tool shed to assist him as normally does. Humes decided to go looking for his son, and that is when he found his dead body. According to reports, the body of Hipólito Humes Jr. had no signs of physical injuries, and foul play is not suspected at this time. Additional information alleges that the deceased was a drug user. The body of Hipólito Humes Jr. lies at the Belize Medical College awaiting a post-mortem examination. Late last week, Cabinet announced its decision to grant members of the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association $1 million in subsidies to be used for fertilizer to improve crop yield. This decision came after a full discussion on the sugar industry and the revelation that for 2 years the BSCFA had not benefited from premiums derived from fair trade. This decision, however, has not been met well by some quarters who feel that the donation to the BSCFA farmers can be seen as prejudice against other cane farmer associations as well as other sectors within the agriculture sector. Prime Minister Brusenia, however, today addressed those concerns, stating that it is not the first time government lends a helping hand to an organization or group that requires the assistance.
A fair criticism on their part. Remember, the BSFA has not been getting fair trade monies. The other three have been getting fair trade monies, and the monies they get from fair trade is to be able to buy fertilizers. Since the BSCFA, which is the largest association, they have a little over 50% of the farmers as members have not gotten anything. So we believe that we had to do something, just like what we did with the Stevie doors about a year and a half ago. We, I think, with $1.5 million. We have done that now to try to help them through this critical time.
Cane farmers from the BSCFA are slated to receive the subsidies in the coming weeks as the 2022-2023 cane crop season slowly comes to an end. Coming up next, the walk for the survivors of cancer and those who have passed. Stay tuned.
If you're lucky, no matter what life hands you, you can always count on your closest friends to be there.
Oh, thank you. My purse was exhausted. We are all blissfully unaware when our lives are about to change.
Life is full of surprises.
I'm ready to lose my virginity.
Excuse me?
I got the list.
What list?
There's a whole brouhaha at school about this MILF list.
For real?
Our lunchtime fodder is not usually this lowbrow, I swear.
Really? Who have you been eating with?
It's a big step up for Che and me.
I've been having exit out of grief sex. It's just sex.
Through all the chance that you've been out there, men have feelings too.
Life's too short not to try something new.
And just like that, I realized some things are better left in the past. But maybe not everything.
Sign up for Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
Noting the increasing demands for primary, secondary, and tertiary healthcare across the country, our administration has focused heavily on providing the delivery of healthcare services to Belizeans. As such, since coming to office, we have consistently expanded the delivery of primary care services through NHI. As you may recall, that it is in this financial year that the entire district of Orange Walk is for the first time being brought in with NHI. Increasing access to up to 40,000 Orange Walkenians. The year before, with the same budget that the UDP was using in Corozal for a small portion of the district, we expanded the full coverage of NHI in the Corozal district. So presently, we have almost 270,000 people that is going to be covered.
Did you know that several factors influence survival after a diagnosis of cancer? The most common factors are the type of cancer diagnosed, available treatment, and the stage at which cancer is diagnosed and the onset of treatment. Generally, earlier detection of cancer is associated with improved outcomes and survival. Over the last few decades, advances in screening programs and treatments have improved the rates for some site-specific cancers. However, healthcare systems differ between countries, and disparities in access to healthcare exist within countries. Both factors contribute to differences in survival rates. Although there is some variation in survival rates between high-income countries, generally lower-income countries have lower survival rates. That is why building awareness for early detection is important. And with that in mind, over the weekend, the Orange Walk Cancer Support Group held its annual Cancer Walk here in Orange Walk.
Orange Walkenians met the sunrise on Saturday morning as they came out as early as 5 a.m. to take part in the 15th annual Cancer Awareness Walk organized by the Orange Walk Cancer Support Group, celebrated this year under the theme, Hand in Hand, Together We Are Strong. And in the spirit of camaraderie and community support, this year's Cancer Walk was comprised of cancer patients, cancer survivors, and supporters of all ages, all with the same objective: to raise awareness about the disease, to pay tribute to those who have lost the battle, and to show support for those who are currently fighting the horrible disease.
We want to thank everyone that came out, everyone that sponsored by buying shirts and sponsored the fair. It was a small group, but we have a lot of activities today. And so some of them bought shirts, but they didn't make it out here. So we are very grateful for each and everyone and for all those who got up early and came out to support our fighters and our survivors. We have the support of the community, which is a blessing for us because we know other districts, it's hard for them to get the community support. And so we are grateful and we continue to thank them that even when we're not out here like a fair and an activity like this, they're still supporting the cancer patients that they here are doing fundraising.
One of the group's youngest warriors, 13-year-old Marlon, who is currently battling this disease, also joined in on Saturday's walk. As he continues fighting, Marlon says he is thankful for everyone who shows their support in any way possible.
Yeah, he's my buddy. He calls me all the way from Guatemala. We keep in contact, you know. I admire Marlon a lot because he's a fighter. I admire him because he doesn't give up no matter what. He has seen so much in Guatemala because we know that he has to go to those clinics where all the other children are. And we know he has seen a lot, but he doesn't give up. He says, Miss Badge, going to the end. And I tell him, you're almost at the top of the hill because he's finished with chemo, right? But he still needs to go for checkups. It's a long process. We all know it's a long, long process. But he's not going to give up, and he's going to be here a long time. Right, Marlon?
Yes, right now I just finished my chemo, and then right now they only give me pill and Miss Badger tell me never keep up. So I make it, and they will say it. And I tell her, yes, I know, Miss Badger. Then came me, I just finished this 2 surgery right now, and I go back, I think I do my next one upon the bone. So the bone, how wide they grow, the bone they come out then, and then I want to make it pop, so if it pop, that was same, I go lose my life, and then the doctor said the bone, if any matter go in there, it take long for make this and I say, any cancer no, but you have to do wrong, you have to remind you, my mom have to remind you, my granny and them. That's why they don't make you go nowhere and make anytime stay to hand sanitizer or mask and anything. That's why I can't make nothing going on my foot. And I just finished, I already grabbed chemo right now. And I think when I go back, they only have left me for Sita. Feel happy. Port them will help me and anything like Miss Badger, right? Or they help me too. I tell them thanks very much, everybody, for coming out this morning.
Cancer patient Waldina Alcantara shared some of her experience dealing with the immense financial struggle associated with cancer treatment, which can cost as much as $10,000 per session.
Batallar con el cáncer es una batalla muy dura. Todo es tener la fe en Dios para hacerlo. Mientras haya fe, tú lo vas a poder hacer. Pero si, porque te diste cuenta que tuviste cáncer, llegaron las biopsias, llegan las quimios y las quimios son las que matan. Esas son las que matan, esas son las que duelen. Pero Dios fue bien bueno, que salí adelante. Y después de las quimios me fui a cirugía y de la cirugía pues me fui para las radiaciones con mi hija que hace sus ventecitas, rifas, las 3, porque solo tengo 3 hijas. Entre las 3 y la oficina del cáncer que me apoyó, mis Bárbara, todos los que tuvieron su voluntad y dieron un grano de arroz. Pues me fui para hacerme mis radiaciones, pues se gasta. Y tú mientras estás recibiendo tus radiaciones tienes que ser fuerte. Más que todo, agarrarte de Dios. Tienes que ser fuerte, porque es una batalla muy dura. Porque cuando yo me acuerdo y estoy sola, boto mis lágrimas, pero a la vez digo, gracias Dios por darme otra oportunidad. Porque para mí yo cuento desde el día de cirugía, yo digo, desde ese día yo empecé a vivir mi vida. Y yo digo, Diosito, no sé qué hacer para ti, pero sé que estoy en tus manos y no me has soltado hasta estos momentos. Te doy gracias por todo, Señor, y gracias a todos los que me ayudaron. Y me hice un mes en Mérida. Y eso fue un gasto bastante que yo hice, porque en Mérida no es nada fácil. Allá si un vaso de agua te quieres llevar, tienes que comprarlo. Los hoteles cuestan 500, 800 pesos una noche. Eso cuesta una noche 500, 800 pesos, que viene saliendo de aquí casi de 80 a 100 dólares. Y más la alimentación está duro. Y pues las radiaciones a mí me costaron casi 60, 65 mil pesos. Eso me costaron libre, lo que gasté en la renta del apartamento, que me costaron 6,500 pesos. Más la alimentación.
Working daily to raise awareness and much needed funds to help our cancer fighters, the Cancer Support Group is encouraging Orange Roqueños to join in the cause.
We're always working behind the scenes, you know. We have a lot of patients, unfortunately, right now. Some of them are not out here. But we continue to work with the families closely so that they can be able to raise that much needed finance that they need to take that treatment.
Talk to us in terms of what we can do as a community, you know, to be involved, to do our part.
Yes, we can join the group. You don't have to be an active member. You can be a supportive member. You can give us your phone number or your contact number, that when we need donations and stuff for the patients, we can contact you. A little fills the pot. And so we will be very grateful if we can get more supportive members, because, cancer treatment is very expensive. And sometimes we have to go out of the country, and that's when it's worse, when it's out of the country.
The walk culminated at the Central Park with a short ceremony where various members of the business community were recognized for their support in the fight against cancer. To end the event, participants released balloons into the air to show support for those currently fighting the disease, honoring the survivors, and remembering the fallen. Reporting for CTV3 News, Norma Ruiz.
The walk was followed by a mini health fair. At the last House sitting, the Brazilian administration announced its plan to build a $90 million health facility in Belmopan to be financed through a loan from the Saudi Fund for Development. Since the announcement, however, there have been various concerns raised from various corners, including the KHMH Workers Union. Late last week, the union issued a press release indicating that there is a serious shortage of nurses and doctors at the KHMH, and the Ministry of Health and Wellness has been unable to address the unavailability. According to the release, despite the vision of the KHMH, including future expansion of the facility, in its 28 years of existence, the hospital has been unable to realize its full potential due to political interference. Coupled with a shortage of medical personnel, the public health sector has also been lacking services such as physiotherapy, laboratory technicians, medical and nursing services, as well as basic supplies and equipment. To that point, the union asked where the technological and human resources will be drawn from, considering the present situation in the KHMH. The question is also being asked whether the decision taken by government is to undermine the KHMH. The $90 million sees the KHMHW can be invested in other areas of healthcare, including capacity building for nursing education, hemodialysis, oncology, cardiology, and accident and emergency services. Today, in an interview with the media, however, Prime Minister John Briceño addressed those concerns, saying that the decision to build a tertiary care hospital was done with the vision of long-term medical services in our country.
We have to be strategic in what we're doing. Kalkushna has reached probably its max. They don't have much space to expand. The idea is for us to be able to build a new hospital in Belize, probably in the Leka area, we have the land available, so that then we could have two regional hospitals in Belize that can provide some sort of tertiary services. But the truth is that we if a hurricane were to hit Belize City, Belize country is going to lose its only tertiary level hospital. So the plan, and what we discussed in Plan Belize, was then to set up a new regional hospital in Belmopan. The hospital in Belmopan has been condemned. It's no good. So the only way we can do is that we have to redo it. And so we want to do a regional hospital with tertiary services so that then that could help relieve the pressure from Kragushna initially to be able to take care of the Kaya district, Stankic district, and the Toledo district. So it relieves that pressure. And also, God forbid that we have a hurricane, our patients from Kragushna can come to can shelter in Belmopan with the necessary facilities to look after them. Now, Kragushna needs help. Of course, they need more equipment. Yes, they need more equipment. And we're also working towards that. We're working with Kabay to see if we could get some more funding to be able to do that. The issue right now with the Saudis, we have just signed an agreement, to recognize, we just had diplomatic relations with the Saudis in last year, September. At the UN, we signed the diplomatic agreement between both countries. And one of the first things they said, well, we prepare to help with a project. And so they are lending us this money to build this hospital at 2% per annum. 5 years we pay nothing, and then we have another 20 years to pay that loan. So it will give us the opportunity to build that hospital, and to that hospital attach a university to be able to train our doctors and nurses. So whilst I understand what the union from Kragushna they're talking about, they're being a bit nearsighted. We as a country, we have to be strategic, and that's exactly what we're doing right now.
Every citizen wants to feel secure, and that is a goal for the Police Citizens Advisory Committee, who were elected into office in January 2023. The main plan currently is to visit every village in the Corozal district to make known what the committee plans to do in the near future. Over the weekend, the committee stopped in the village of Pachacan to speak to the residents. We spoke to the Secretary and Public Relations Officer of the committee, Tomas Cal, who told us why a new board was elected and what are their plans.
The committee itself is formed under the umbrella of the police department, right? But the individuals who are in the committee are citizens from around. So it's just normal people who are willing to make a change, right? So when it comes to the committee itself, we have people from age ranging to the youngest, which is myself. We have people from their mid-20s, their 30s. It's formed of, if I'm not mistaken, about 7 head of the table, right? Under that, we have subcommittees as well. So the organization itself was dormant for a while due to previous administrative, but now since we've come to new people, like I mentioned, we are trying to uplift these. And then when it comes to the police department, they back us up on all of our projects, right? Because it's under their umbrella. However, we are trying to make a difference. It is not a platform for complaint or to what we say blast the police department. We are the midpoint between the police department and the communities in Corozal.
Carl says that community support is essential for the realization of the objectives planned, which primarily is a reduction in crimes and a feeling of citizen security.
Whenever we host our meetings, most of the time we schedule it in town. But that's where we started the initiative. And since Corozal has a new OC, Assistant Superintendent Mr. Elroy Carcamo, we have been working very closely with him. And we have decided to start what we are calling our tour around Corozal. And as you guys might be aware, Corozal has more or less 27 to 28 villages and approximation of 10 communities. So it's quite large in numbers. So we are starting this campaign that we are calling it our tour around Corozal. So we have scheduled, or we are trying to schedule several visits to each villages, neighborhoods, so just that we can be that breaking point between the community and the police department. I know many people don't have that trust in the police department with everything what is happening and everything that has been going on, and then that's not just in Corozal, but that's whole village, right? So what our committee is actually working towards and is aiming to do is to build that trust, build that bond between the community and the police department again, right? Uh, Corozal is a very peaceful place. We do have our ups and downs, we do have our crimes, we do have our problems. However, it's a very peaceful place, right? We still don't have that trust from the people with the police department, and that's what we are working to do. We are working to visit all these neighborhoods, all these communities. We have our monthly meetings in Corozal town. However, we do understand that people probably from farther villages might not be able to make it to our monthly meetings. So we have decided to take that initiative within the committee, within our group, to go and to host these meetings. We will probably ask the assistance of probably village council or probably someone in the village that might want to host us. We would look into that as well.
The committee holds monthly meetings in Corozal Town which are public. For more information on the work the Police Citizens Advisory Committee is doing in Corozal, you can follow their Facebook page or contact Thomas Call at phone number 673-8556. 14 women and 1 man from the community of Orange Walk are currently engaged in a 3-month reading and financial literacy program organized by Deputy Mayor Dorette Pascasio through a collaboration with the Orange Walk Town Council and the Mamas Group. The program seeks to offer participants, mainly mothers and housewives, the opportunity to learn crucial skills that will assist them to become independent leaders within their household and community. The program takes place every Saturday with the assistance of volunteer educators from our community.
It's a 3-month program and it's held every Saturday from 9 o'clock to 11:30. Right now we have 14 people that have signed up. We have 14 girls and we have 1 male that is in the reading and financial program. What we do with this program is that we're teaching women how to read. We have 3 groups. We have a beginners group, we have an intermediate group, and we have a mixed group that is between the beginners and the middle. Yes.
Talk to us a little about some of the things that you guys are sharing with these participants and, what you guys are hoping they take away.
Apart from the reading and literacy part, what we're also sharing with the group is the roles and responsibility of the Orange Walk Town Council, women's right, and we're also doing the financial literacy part to teach them how to budget their daily finances at home. Because we know that women are the main whole and main brain of the family. So it's very important that they know how to budget their money and to be able to take care of their home, especially in these times.
The program also includes volunteer presenters from various organizations, including the Women's Group and La Inmaculada Credit Union, who provide vital information to the participants.
This program, it's a partnership between Mamas and the Orange Walk Town Council, and we also partner with some other local partners in the community, which gave us a funding to be able to execute this reading and financial literacy program.
You guys also have volunteers, local educators?
Yes, we have volunteers. I have Miss Elizabeth Veos, which is one of the teachers, and I have another volunteer, which is Miss Shahari Rogers. Both teachers, Miss Veos has been teaching for 25 plus years, and we have Miss Rogers that have been teaching for 11 years. Both experienced teachers that I have doing this program with the women. And I must say a big thank you for the women and the men that came out to this program. It shows that they care and that they are willing to learn. It's a stepping stone. Before I came up with this idea of having a reading and financial literacy program, the first thing that I did was I did a mapping. After I did that mapping, I saw, you know what? I realized that most of the women in the Orangewa community, they need a little assistance when it comes to the reading and the financial literacy. So I decided to do this because it's very important. By teaching our women and men in the community how to read or how to be a little bit more literate, one, they can go back home and help their kids with their assignment. Two, they can be able to read their water bill or their light bill. Three, they will be able to have a voice, which is very important, especially when it comes to different issues here in our community.
Of the participants, Claudia Briseño and Fel Carrillo, they believe the knowledge gained in this program will greatly assist in helping them become better mothers and grandmothers.
Yo vine porque yo no puedo leer y no puedo escribir, pero voy a tratar lo mejor para hacer. Y yo creo que sí lo puedo hacer. Y mi problema mío es que para pelear no puedo, pero acá estoy y voy a tratar lo mejor que puedo hacer.
Háblenos cómo ha sido su experiencia estas 4 semanas que ha estado en la clase.
Pues para mí estaba tan nerviosa y quedo nerviosa rápido, pero en un modo me gusta, me gusta mucho la escuela porque puedo aprender y como tengo a mis nietas, tal vez los puedo ayudar, pero ahí voy.
Represento el Mamas Group acá en Orange Drag de Miss Ofelia Novello, trabajo en conjunto con ella y acá estoy aprendiendo un poquito más de el English Literacy y el Business Perspective que nos van a enseñar y estoy feliz de estar acá y aprendiendo algo nuevo, porque nosotros tenemos esa tendencia de que lo sabemos todo, pero no lo sabemos, y every day consigues un refreshment course y te ayuda, en las cosas cotidianas de todos los días.
Háblenos por qué decidió usted como mujer venir a este programa.
Vine porque ya estoy quedando vieja y ya se me está olvidando las cosas y necesito cerciorarme de que las cosas marchen bien en el hogar.
Y háblenos cómo piensa usted que un curso como este le ayuda a usted como abuela, como dijo, y como mamá.
Nos ayudará porque en el futuro vamos a tener esa conocimiento de enseñar a los nietos y a lo que la persona que lo necesite y nos va a ayudar grandemente.
The program will come to an official close in the month of June with a graduation ceremony to mark the accomplishment of all 15 participants. Tonight, Belize has a new ports commissioner. Through a press release, the announcement was made that the board of directors of the Belize Port Authority has appointed Darlene Gaitan as ports commissioner effective April 1st, 2023. Gaitan holds a master's degree in maritime management from the Marine Institute of Memorial University of Newfoundland. She also holds a bachelor's degree in natural resource management from the University of Belize and presently is pursuing postgraduate studies in international maritime law. Gaitan has been through extensive technical maritime training in port state control, port management, law, and project management, among other specializations, and has been served 14 years of the Belize Port Authority. Gaitan has been holding over as acting ports commissioner since October 31st, 2022, and is now the second woman to ever hold the post of ports commissioner in the 45 years history of the BPA. Gaitan has served in the operations department and the executive services department. Before being elevated to ports commissioner, she was serving as manager in the technical department. The board, through the new port commissioner, intends to restore morale among the staff, drive the digitalization agenda, modernize the legislative framework, and ensure that the BPA is prepared for the 2024 International Maritime Organization member state audit. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Tuesday, May 30th here on CTV3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at CTV3BelizeNews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at Facebook.com/CTV3BelizeNews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.